it's our culture, it's our society. Like, what do we want? We want to take a pill and everything goes away. But no, I mean, you got to invest in whatever you do. You got to. The personal development part is the most important thing for this puppy. You got to do it. And I just love the way they deliver it. And it's very powerful and very important. And it's interesting because, you know, I was just sharing with John earlier that I found a great post of his, and he talks about Ben Franklin. And, you know, this stuff is so important, guys. I mean, like, you know how people are always, sign up into my deal and you can get a free copy of Think and Grow Rich. Do you know how many of those people don't even read the book? They haven't even read it. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, it's frustrating for me, but I mean, I love people but I just can't deal with that anymore. Like, you got to do the work, you know, and you don't necessarily have to be an entrepreneur, but you got to at least be sick and tired of being sick and tired. You got to have that. And if you're not there, it ain't going to work. And that's the bottom line. You know, everybody wants to jump in and make the money in a couple of months. It doesn't matter. It's not going to happen for you. And so they think, well, you know, I'll spend $2,000 and then it will happen. No. You know, I look, and again, futuristic marketing I think is a really cool thing. But it's so interesting when that came out, you know, when these launches, constant launches, I mean, the overwhelm, the poo, it's constant. And even the big guys, the ones with the big, deep lists, everybody lost focus. Everybody started doing futuristic marketing because they wanted to get that car, that $100,010 car that Jonathan Budd was giving away. It was like, are you kidding me? What about the little people that are like, oh, but you were teaching me easy money method, and you were teaching me, you know, I was going to make $10,000 a month in 30 to 60 days with, you know, this program. Everybody dropped it. Because they were all like, I'm going to get that. I got to put my video in. I got to do what they're telling me to do. It's like, it's insanity that's going on. And it's okay. I mean, I get it. But it doesn't happen overnight. You gotta, you know, and you know what the other thing is that's really big? It's the inbox. I'm telling you, you got to focus. You got to find that one or two people that you're resonating with, right? And just focus on that. You can't. Because all this stuff comes in. It's like, oh, I gotta go over there. Oh, I gotta go over there. And then we realize that even the big guys are doing that too. You know, so what do we do? Seriously, I mean, it's a serious issue in the marketplace, and people really need the focus, and you got to push through. I think you kind of get where I'm.
I totally get it, and. If you're just joining us in this conversation now, welcome everybody to Interviews with Experts here with Bold Statement Marketing. I'm John Lavenia, and we are talking today with someone who I've met only on the web. Wendy, have we ever met actually in person?
No,
we have never met in person. Okay.
Actually, through LinkedIn. We met on LinkedIn.
Yeah. We met on LinkedIn, and I don't even really use LinkedIn. I haven't logged into it in months. I need to start embracing social media a little bit more, and I think that's maybe one of the things that we're going to talk about on this little interview here, because you know a bit more about that, what I'm calling the splinter net now. It's kind of like, it's so fragmented, it can be so overwhelming. And
I love that, the splinter net.
Yeah, the splinter net. I didn't originate that. I'd like to take credit for that, but I got that from somebody else. But the point is that I'm studying this stuff now because, you know, I'd like to participate in 21st century planet Earth. Since I can't turn back the clock and I'm stuck here, well then, you know, we might as well learn some internet stuff. And that's the direction that I've started to go in, and meeting great people like you. Now, you've been, for anyone who doesn't know Wendy Nicholls, and I'll let you tell your own story, but you've been actively involved in direct sales, network marketing, and a few, may I say, fringe variations of that, like some things that maybe are kind of frowned on by most of the industry, or misunderstood, or whatever. Because there's so many things now that we could do to make money from home. I mean, that's essentially what this website, Bold Statement Marketing, that's what this is about, is how does a person become more than just an employee, right? How they actually fulfill some of their purpose and have the time and money to do that, right? I mean, it takes resources. How do we do that? And people say, all right, I'm going to put my hand in the air and look for an opportunity, and then bam, right? Here comes the world of confusion. Well, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just crawl back to my job, right? So, Wendy, tell us just a bit about your backstory, what led you up to this point, and like what's worked, okay, and what works now, of course.
Okay.
Very interesting.
First of all, very successful leadership background in corporate America. Took a leave of absence about 12 years ago. Actually, it was December 15th, 2000, and took a leave of absence. Wanted to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, and ended up doing dogs, getting involved with showing dogs, and just I did a whole new thing, and then made a decision 6 months into that I was not going to go back to my job, and relocated up from the New York City area to Dover Plains, New York, and for me to go get just go to department stores and things, get makeup, whatever, it was a 45-minute ride, and I wasn't used to that. So I was one day in Cumbies, Cumberland Farms, getting my coffee, and a lady came up to me and asked me if I would like to have a facial. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this lady up on this because, 45-minute ride is a little bit much. So sure enough, I go over to her house the next day and, put this makeup on. It was Mary Kay. And I loved it. And so she asked me, and she said, would you like to be, there's a, opportunity connected to this. I was like, I used to be an executive to myself. I didn't say it to her, but I was almost insulted. And I went home that night. She planted a seed because I thought about it and thought about it and I thought about it. And I'm like, I called her the next day. And I said, I think I'd like to see that business presentation. And I bought a boatload of stuff from her. And I saw the business presentation, and the rest is history. And that's really kind of how I got started. Bought a bunch of stuff and, didn't understand how to market it, but, tried with friends and family, and even, went to the meetings every week and the whole 9 yards. Then I moved on to something else after about 2 years. And then eventually I found the very end of 2004, that was 2001, June 2001. The very end of 2004, I found high yield interest programs. And between 2004, the very tail end, through the second week in February 2010, I made a boatload of money. I mean, a boatload of money. I bought this beautiful home. I've got a heated in-ground pool. I live on a river. It's all lovely. I got a pool house, all that. And it was wonderful. I didn't save any money, though. Put the kid through college, did a lot of great things with it. And the bottom fell out, and I was terrified. And frankly, I thought I was going to drink it away. And that didn't work. And finally just buckled up, because even during that 5-year period of making all that money, I'm an avid student of Robert Kiyosaki. So I always, would jump into network marketing things, but I never buckled down and learned how to market. Never really did. Just like would talk to friends and talk to this one, and, did it the wrong way. And then so November 1st, 2010, I'm like, I'm going to learn this stuff. I had taken courses. I even sent somebody $500, and she never even delivered on the product. And then in fact, I just, Googled her the other day. She's got like 5 rip-off reports about her. It's really funny. And I'd even met her at a Danny Johnson training. So it's like, so I've run the gamut. So I knew that I could learn it. And what is the most important thing anybody can do because of what's going on in the economy? E-commerce is exploding, right? Look at what's going on in our economy. I don't care whether you're the pizza shop on the corner, you're the network marketer, you gotta know how to leverage the internet, right? Social media, it's here. We got a deal, So that's what I did. And so now it's been November 1st. I'm almost coming up on 2 years. I've put in over 11,000 hours, and I've learned a ton of stuff. It's been wonderful. I had 26 LinkedIn connections when I started this gig, and now I got like 3,000. I had. I just opened up my Partner with Wendy YouTube channel January 11th, 2011. I have 41,000 uploaded views. That's cool. This 54-year-old woman, this is so neat. So I know that anybody can do it, and it's just about pushing through. I think my leg up was that because of making all that money, I just knew that I could do it again. I just had to learn new skill sets. But it's really about the personal development stuff. Like like every Friday at 1:00, I meet with my proactive coach. I mean, that's important stuff. That's what people don't want to do. People are more looking for the tip or the trick, and there is no tip or trick. It's really believing in yourself and investing into whatever you do. You've got to really have a solid business. It's got to be solid. You've got to have track record. There's something I think if you get something for kind of nothing, the problem in that. There really is. Again, it's more like what you were saying in the video that was so powerful to me. It's the laws, and you're right. I can't wait for you to do more work on the laws of the universe. This isn't stuff like, oh, this company's doing this company's doing that. Some of these things are just laws, man. You can deny it. You can say it doesn't happen. But the bottom line is, if you hold a napkin up and you drop it, it's going to fall down. Well, that's a law of the universe, right? And people have to get that. You know what I'm saying?
Wendy, you've brought up like 15 different points here, and a couple of them that I want to focus on because people, let me say this, people are most interested in how do I make money now? Okay, and it brings up to mind, because you're talking about laws of the universe and like philosophies, which is what I mainly do, is philosophy, not necessarily internet marketing guru or any kind of stuff like that. I haven't really been that interested in that. I'm more into like how the mind works.
Right.
But something that Johann Goethe said was that everyone wants to be somebody, nobody wants to grow. And right now, as we're talking about this, some people may feel like, oh man, I don't want to hear this. I want to hear what I want to hear. I want to hear you've got magic, and all I got to do is press the easy button, right? Right.
That's it.
So what you're saying is there is no free ride, at least not sustainably. You may come up with a gimmick, whatever.
Oh yeah.
But it's kind of like who was I talking to? I was talking to my publicist, and he was saying that certain companies will use like the sex gimmick, like the GoDaddy commercials and stuff like that. But it's right. Not as sustainable as you would think. Whereas other companies like Geico Insurance, no sex appeal at all. Okay, it's a skinny little lizard. Very, very, cartoony. So there's a couple different routes people go, either the quick fix gimmick or the, sustainable, build the brand, build the image, build real marketing. Okay, so you mentioned high yield investment or interest program, HYIP. and I didn't know what that was until fairly recently. Now some people hearing that may say, well, John, have you been living under a rock? Well, no, and yes, okay. And in some ways, I focus on what I focus on, and I get really, really good at that, and I kind of block out all the other stuff. Tell us then about the difference between something sustainable and that you're going to have to do some work. There's some exchange. There's some effort, right? There's some diligence and some industry involved, as opposed to what we're seeing now, what I'm seeing now as I'm looking on the web with a million different passive income deals and, do nothing and make money. And like you said, it's making people even weaker, isn't it? I mean, when you give somebody a promise,
you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right.
It's an unfulfillable promise. There's got to be some exchange. Tell us about where do you see at least smart people going at this point in the home-based business world?
I mean, first of all, you got to know that the company is solid. Track record is really important. Let's be honest. I mean, some of these network marketing companies that open up, they're opened up by people that were successful distributors. Doesn't make them good business owners. Sorry, got to say it. So and what do they typically do? They usually do a binary. Binary screwed the distributor. Come on. We got to get real. You know what I'm saying? So that's a problem, and you've got to do that. But it's interesting because I'm not into blowing up spots. I'm not really into that because I think that it really is, the onus is on us. You keep pushing through, you keep learning. I didn't know this stuff before either. When I jumped into Mary Kay and that's more direct sales, but I didn't understand it. I didn't know it. a binary. Oh, this is great. Just get two. Just get two. Are you kidding me? But you didn't tell me to push this one to the left and this one to the right. And if I don't, I'm going to be totally screwed because one leg's going to grow and the leaf is going to get everything and I'm not going to get anything. But do they train you on that? Of course they don't. But you know what? That's kind of my job, right? I need to learn that. I need to understand that. And that's where I'm at now. And I love that. I love that I can take my 20 years of really high level, leadership in corporate America and pull these things together. I never pulled it together before. Are you kidding? Now I'm at a point where I don't want just anybody in my business. I can't make it happen for you. You've got to want it. Do you know what I'm saying? No, you've got to fill out a survey and I want to interview you, because you got to really want something. You got to put something in it. And the marketing is a little bit of an issue for me because sometimes it's dishonest. It really is. I'm sorry. It is. You can't tell somebody that they're going to make $10,000 in 30 to 60 days when they know nothing. Are you kidding me? It ain't going to happen. So, people have to, it's kind of tough right now. Like, that's why I'm excited about you, John, because I think you and your wife have so much to bring to the marketplace, and some people aren't going to hear it, and that's okay. That it's not meant for them to hear, so they just go over to Walmart, get that $10 an hour job. Seriously, there's nothing wrong with that. No shame.
Well, I think there's something wrong with that personally, but that's me. Right? That's my life.
It's terrible for me.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's no free ride, and it ain't easy. It's not.
Let's talk about that, Wendy,
right.
Because you know, obviously, my book, right? You've read Integrity is Everything, and
yes.
You've had some sort of an experience with the information that I put in there. That took me about 20 years to put all that into my brain. Mm-hmm. And about a week for it to come out in a cabin that I was sequestered in near Sedona, Arizona. Okay, so that was like, my first offering to the world of here's everything that I've done in writing for the first time that produced those 6-figure monthly results in a seemingly short period of time. Okay, and here's the point that I want to get to with you. The sales pitch of you can have it all in 30 to 60 days. Yes, logistically, there's formulas and they work. Have you done the work previously or prior to that? Do you have the backstory to now have the horsepower, okay, to run that machine? Here's, for a lot of people, they've just been taking orders at a job. They don't know nothing. They can't communicate. They can't sell. They can't write. They can't do videos. And we're talking about internet marketing now.
Yeah.
Okay, which is how do you reach the public? They're on the web. So how does somebody who's had no attention on that go from that to 10, 20, 30,000 a month without like some serious diligence? I mean work.
But let's be real. They can't.
Right.
That's not possible.
And so my message is you do whatever it takes. In my case, my life was shit. I had to do a lot of work on me, never mind making money. Okay, on me to pull my head out. And now I've at least got the potential to recognize opportunities and to operate with systems and, and all this kind of stuff. But I was walking around like in the fog of misinformation, which I think most people are drowning in.
Yeah.
So I'm not about to change my story. My story is you have friggin' integrity. You integrate your belief with your behavior. You make a decision and you don't turn back. And if you don't understand what a decision is, look up the friggin' word. Okay, it's a cutting off point. There's nothing casual about this. And I think a lot of people want, rock star results with casual level commitments. So what are your thoughts on that?
All I can say is I so concur with everything you just said. I love what you just said. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's about making a decision. Like I said, getting sick and tired of being sick and tired, right? You got to have that first. You make a decision and then you take responsibility. You got to. If you don't like where you're at, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. It's so simple. Do you know what I mean? It really is. We make it so big. What is the choices? The choice is fear or love. I'm serious. And I know that makes it so simplistic, but it really is that simple. Do you love yourself enough to stop taking the crap that's coming into your life? Seriously. Or when people, but my family's not with me on this. stay away from them then. Seriously, get on the computer, check into a community that you can like be with like-minded people. I get that hard part. That's tough. That part's really hard. You know, what you have, John, you got your beautiful wife. You know what I'm saying? You guys are like-minded. So some people, I know that that's what they're dealing with, and I feel for them. I do. I feel for them. That part's so hard. You know, when they might feel that hope, and they might see that, oh yeah, I can do that. But then they'll go and they talk to the wrong people, and they were like, you can't do that, because they're, you know, they want you to be the sheeple. Stay in the boat. Don't get out of the boat. You're not allowed to get out of the boat, right? And they want to be accepted. You know, that's the biggest issue of the human condition, right? We want acceptance. So you keep the mask on, and it's like, well, I have to hide that I'm doing this network marketing thing or this home-based business thing, you know, and then that can't work. You can't work. If you can't decide, no, I'm standing this is what I want for myself. This is really what I want for you, my family. Freedom. That part, that's what I think people really struggle with. And that is the really tough part, not having anybody in your, oh, my friends and family, they don't think I'm a nut. That's okay. I like, now I'm liking being in the nut club. Makes me good.
Well, I don't think you're a nut. I think you may be eccentric, but I don't think you're a nut. I think that what you just mentioned about community, and that kind of leads us back into social media. You recently turned me on to IBO Toolbox, which I didn't even know, you know, what that was. I'm just getting into it now. And again, I've had my head in other things, and they haven't necessarily been internet related. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, there is a planet, it's called Earth, and it doesn't exist on cyberspace, okay? There are things that we can touch for real, right? Like this coffee cup, right? So anyway, so I'm now looking at that, of course. Thank you for introducing me to that social media program, I guess. And so now one half of me is like, oh, this is cool. These are people who are in sympathy with the idea of being a home business professional. Yeah. On the other hand, I'm thinking, well, damn, another social media network, the Splinternet, right? Another thing that I got to manage. How many friggin' things do I got to post a day to make myself known in the marketplace? Tell us, how do you manage all of it?
I'm really happy that you brought up IBO because if you do IBO, you don't have to worry about all the other stuff. This guy, Paul Williams, is really an amazing man, and I promise you, from my mouth to God's ear, this 2 years from now, he's going to be offered $2 or $3 billion for this thing. No question, no question. This guy was invited to a special Google event, I think it was about a year ago, maybe less than that, about 6 months ago. And he didn't know this was going to happen. But at this event, they used IBO as the example of perfect SEO. So he's got this, you understand, and this is what makes me so excited about it. It's for so many people that don't really understand all this stuff, that don't even have blogs, because it's got Facebook. It goes to everything. Understand? You spend an hour in an IBO, you're done. You're literally done. And it's not just a bunch of, you know, network marketers and everybody looking at everybody's business. No, 98% of the eyes are from Google.
Is that right?
Do you know how people are ranking? Oh my gosh. It's amazing. You can't believe it. It's got video share. If you have a community, you can meet with your community in IBO. Your entire community in that platform. It is the most, and it's free. It's like mind-boggling. Yeah, you can buy ads too. Like $10, I think, gets you 1,000 impressions. And these are going out to Google. These are going out.
So not just people who are already in home-based businesses, because I've seen things like.
And now we got lawyers and doctors and some of the biggest marketers on the planet up in there.
Yeah, so you're familiar with certain industry publications like Home Business Connection and stuff like that, where it's, you know, the whole thing is full of ads, and the only people that read it are people that are placing ads, and it's like everybody's trying to pitch each other their deals, and I'm like, I didn't even want to do that sort of a deal. What am I going to, you know, take somebody out of Amway and put them in my deal, or, you know, whatever?
Now, people that are new that don't get it, you know, they're just like, get in my deal, get in my. They use it that way, but that's what he's created it so perfectly, because that doesn't benefit them at all. It doesn't. It's the way it's created. if you use it the right way. And there's even an analyzer that tells you when you're doing it the right way. Seriously, it's so cool.
So just like if you were doing email, anti-spam rating, or like a blog post, SEO, keyword ratings, and all this kind of stuff, it's got like sort of algorithms that it checks your post.
Absolutely. You can make a link. You know how people have tiny URL?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's the IBO URL. You're not going to believe it. It's like, it's brain freeze.
Wow.
So, YouTube videos, I mean, like you put your YouTube video out there, then all these other videos come up afterwards. Oh no, you put your YouTube video in IBO and it's just your video. Powerful.
Wow. Let's turn the attention back over to you though, because there's so much that okay, that I want to get out. I want people to know how to contact you. You're using IBO to build your primary business. Now you're currently working with Sizzle, I believe. Is that right?
That's my primary, absolutely.
And they've got a product that is spectacular. Of course, I've put my attention on it briefly as I'm inundated with other stuff. But tell us, in terms of what we were talking about before, okay, finding a stable thing to do. In this case, you like Sizzle. Finding something that you can do with social media. And here you are doing Sizzle for maybe the value of the product. Or what is it that made you choose that particular program? And this isn't a Sizzle commercial, but just so people can understand where you're coming from with it.
It's the owner. It's Tom Maurer. I mean, the fact that the man, there's only 10 companies in the world that have brought, a network marketing company to $1 billion a year, and he owned one of them for 24 years. And the only reason why he sold it was because he got a divorce. And it was such a big asset, there was no way they could split it, so he had to sell it. And finding out more about him and why he, did what he did, they wanted him to sign a non-compete. And it cost him $250 million to be like, not doing that, because he knew he wanted to open up another network marketing company. It's just the products, the concentrations. There's all these juice companies out there. But these aren't juices. These are real, powerful nutraceuticals. It's just his love. It's the fact that when I saw him with the Dalai Lama, because he's got a foundation, I mean, it's just him. That's really the reason why. And then the products are just amazing. And so I knew this was solid, and here I feel like I'm getting into something like an Amway or something, but, at the top of the company, that's exciting to me. So it's a solid business, and that's, and I'll tell you the truth, I'm not going to probably build with a lot of networkers. I really want to build more. I want to go to like pharmacists and I have like even a chiropractor underneath me, and work it that way. Because so many people, it's the mindset stuff. It's not that I don't want to help people. I love helping people. But if you're like, I don't know what to do with that, it's kind of a waste of my time. And I'll help you in other ways, like get an IBO toolbox. I'll work with you there. And, there's this little $7 thing that I'm doing, which is wonderful. It's ebook of the month club. And that's a nice way for people to introduce themselves and start to learn. But yeah, I'm excited about that.
That's great. Well, why don't we do this? Because we could go on and on. Because our energy, we love to talk. How could people reach you if they're interested in your working with you personally? IBO Toolbox, or do you have a specific website?
They can reach me at Partner with Wendy.
Partner with Wendy.
Wendy.com. That's my blog.
Excellent. Any closing comments about what's next with the industry? What do you see as the ideal scene?
Can I tell you something? I am so excited about you, John. That's really what I'm excited about. I'm really excited about you working. I don't know if you're going to do it in a book format or what. Maybe just blog posts on different laws. That would be so awesome, and something that, and I mean from the newbie to the experienced marketer, is such a need in the marketplace today. And I'm very thrilled about that. I mean, I know the quality of your book. I know what you can bring. So that honestly, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Thank you. The book, it's interesting because it was a few years ago that I published Integrity is Everything. And then I published How to Prosper in a New Economy, which was just a small, like sort of a missing chapter. But I still get reactions from people when they actually talk to me. Like, you're the guy that wrote Integrity is Everything. I remember this one thing you said, or I remember these multiple things you said. It's just like the old black belt marketing calls I used to host. People, when the message gets through in a certain way, and I know this has been the case for me, sometimes I've had to hear things 15 different times, which is probably why it took me 20 years to finally write the book.
Yeah.
Okay. But when people finally get it and a light bulb turns on, you just see it on them. And of course, you see it in their bank account too. And if I could do anything to help people make money, that's it.
Great.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you for the acknowledgement on that. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking to Wendy Nicholls up in New York, and it's great seeing you up there in your environment. It looks like a beautiful sunny day. I hope you go enjoy the rest of it, as I am going to do. And Wendy, thanks again for being here. You have a great day.
Thanks, John.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.